welcome to or back to Growth Rising. I'm Bird, and here we just talk about all things dealing with astrology. And so today I wanted to talk about Mercury in Aries. Okay, so we know that Mercury deals with like communication and writing, reading, um thinking. Mercury is pretty intelligent. But Aries is very quick also. And like with Mercury, I think Mercury, I don't know if it was Mercury or Gemini, because Mercury rules Gemini, but you know, in ancient times Mercury was known as like the messenger. But anyway, so now we're going to talk about if you were born with Mercury in Aries and just some of the traits that you might see in yourself or that you might see in someone else. Now, for your Mercury to be in Aries, most likely your sun sign is either in Aries, Pisces, or Taurus. Because Mercury is going to stay pretty close to the sun. They're not going to be like Gemini and Sagittarius. They're not going to be across the way like that. They're going to stay close together, like about one sign apart. That's about it because they're really close. Um, so if you are born with your Mercury in Aries, you may find that you're kind of like quick minded, like you're good on your feet. You're good with thinking of stuff on your feet. And you might also say it because sometimes Aries act before they think. And with Mercury being in Aries, you can definitely speak before you think. So whatever you think, you might just let it out. Like, okay, I think it, I'm gonna let people know. But also with excuse me, with Mercury being in Aries, you also got to think about it, pay attention to your Mars, because like let's say your Mars is also in Aries or in Scorpio. Your Mars is pretty strong. But if your Mars is in like Cancer or Libra, your Mars will be kind of weak because basically that's who Mercury is answering to. So if your Mars is also in Aries along with your Mercury, yeah, you probably just be saying whatever comes to your mind. Like if you think it's already came out, and you might not have a filter, could possibly hurt people's feelings, but you could also be the type of person that people need in their lives as long as you don't be too harsh. But if your Mercury is in Aries in your natal chart, you could also lack focus. You could possibly have ADHD because you're so active. You're always on the go, like with thinking, with speaking, especially. But also with Mercury and Aries, you will also want to focus on the solution rather than the problem. Like when somebody tell you the problem, like, okay, got it. Now let's fix it. And that could be very beneficial, but at times, sometimes people just want to vent and they're not really looking for a solution to the problem. They just want to vent about it. That's when you might want to slow down or just tell them, like, hey, if you tell me this problem, I'm going to want to find a solution. I heard somebody say in their relationship, it can be friendship, or, like a romantic partner, family. Be like, do you want to just vent or do you want a solution? Because Mercury and Aries will be great at finding a solution, but just to vent, they're going to be jumping in trying to see how they can fix whatever it is. Um, and with Mercury and Aries, you could be somebody who's really, like rooting for others, rooting for your friends, rooting for your family, whoever you're close to, you want to see them win. And you're going to definitely verbalize it because you want to see them doing better for themselves. And you're not going to hide it. You're going to let it be known. And, excuse me, Mercury and Aries could also have a scatterbrain. Your mind is everywhere. Mercury already, deals a lot with the mind. So in Aries, you could be thinking about one thing, then something else, or you could be doing one thing and then you're doing something else. You could be writing this and then you're writing something. Like It's just like really quick moving. So that's why I was saying, Mercury and Aries could possibly be somebody with ADHD. Not saying that everybody who has this placement has ADHD, because, like, let's say if your that your Mars is in Cancer and your Mercury is answering to a Mars in Cancer, then you might not be as quick to say whatever's on your mind, because your Mars, for one, is not moving as fast as it possibly could. So you do have to keep that in mind. Mercury and Aries people are straightforward. They're not ones to want to beat around the bush. You know how some people be kind of nervous and say, well, yesterday and we did this and did that. And no, Mercury and Aries people wants to know A and B. Do not take them from A to Z to L to Q to S just to get to B. They're like, it's a straight shot. A to B. That's it. Um, and these people could also be kind of impulsive with, the way that they speak, kind of like the no filter type thing. That could definitely be something that could be a blessing and a curse at the same time, just because sometimes people might need it at that moment. Like, especially, like, let's say if you're speaking to an Aries sun or something and they need that extra push, you might be the person they need. But if it's somebody who's kind of feel like you're kind of like trying to boss them around, they might feel a little hurt or whatever, by the way that you're speaking to them. They probably can't handle it. So do keep that in mind when you're talking to different people. Um, and since your Mercury is in Aries, people can think that you are verbally aggressive, um, and that you're argumentative, because even though you may feel like you're saying something completely straightforward, calm, no attitude, whatever, they may still see it that way. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just that the way that they're, taking it. Because that Mercury is in Aries, so you could just be speaking regularly and they're taking it like, why is this person so angry right now? Or why is this person doing, trying to figure out, like, why are you coming off the way that you are? Like, I don't know if y'all done seen the things, but like how they'll say sometimes you can't voice your opinion because some people might think that we have an attitude about something, even when we may not. They just taking it that way. That's kind of how Mercury and Aries people are. And you can also be naturally assertive, and being assertive and angry are not the same thing. Being assertive is just like, I'm here. This is A, B, C, and D. We can do this, this, that. Or do you have any ideas? Let's collaborate and taking control of the situation. So that's kind of how the Mercury and Aries people can be if you were born with this placement. And also, if you don't know how to find where your Mercury is, because it's not necessarily in the same sign as your sun, but it's going to be within the surrounding signs. If not, you can, go to Google and type in birth chart calculator, click on, like, excuse me, Astro Seek, Astro Cafe, one of those websites where you can put in your birthday, the time that you were born, and the place that you were born. And then it will be able to generate your birth chart, and it will look like a circle. And Mercury is kind of like the little circle with like the little horns on it. It's similar to Venus. I don't know. Venus, Pluto, and Mercury are all similar to me. But if you scroll down, you'll also see the word Mercury, and it should tell you where your Mercury is. But I hope that this is helpful, for some of y'all. And if you were born with Mercury in Aries, or somebody who was born with Mercury in Aries, because those Pisces, Aries, and Taurus are the ones who you'll be looking at. Let me know if they or yourself, identify with any of the things that I've said today. But thank you for coming and watching. Y'all have a good one.